Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another enlightening episode of Mindset Matters. I'm your host, Mayuresh Srivastava, and today we are diving into something that quietly controls our life without us even realizing. Yes, you heard me right, and it's the influence of people around us that we call social influence, and also the small cues like that set our mind in a certain direction, and we call it priming. And how we silently start following the crowd even when we don't want to. Recently, I was reading a book that offered a very interesting perspective on this, and that's what inspired today's episode. Have you ever made a decision not because you wanted it, but because everyone around you was doing it? Maybe you bought a new phone because everyone said it's the best in class. Maybe you choose a career because your batchmates were choosing it. Or maybe you started doubting your own dreams simply because no one else around you was chasing what you really wanted to pursue. If any of these made you think, yes, that's me, welcome to the club. Okay, so let's get started and understand it at a deeper level. Let's first understand why social influence works so flawlessly. It works because we humans are wired to copy each other. Since ancient times, our survival has depended on staying with the tribe for our different needs, for the food, and for the safety purpose. We as a tribe used to go hunting for our food, right? If everyone started running, you didn't ask why. You just ran instinctively to save yourself. And that is how our brain has evolved over a period of time. We didn't do it for 1 year or 2 years. We did it for good millions of years. So, yes, following the herd is ancient wisdom. But in today's world, that same brain wiring often leads us into different kind of trouble. Psychologists call it social proof, which means where we assume that if many people are doing something, it must be right. But as we know, large groups can be confidently wrong as well. And I'm sure that we all must have experienced it at least once in our lifetime. Suppose you are in a new city and you're roaming in the marketplace for a good food. Suddenly you see two restaurants side by side. One is completely empty and another one fully occupied, and people are waiting outside for their turn to come. Most of us will choose the crowded one, right? Even if we have no clue how the food tastes. You know why? Because people follow people. Our brain assumes if they are choosing it, it must be good. This isn't stupidity of yours. This is purely the biology of our brain. So, the question which comes to my mind is, why do we do that? We don't just copy actions, we copy our thoughts. We pay very close attention to what others think and act. A simple example of that is when a trend blows up on Instagram, suddenly everyone says, this is the new standard. Let me also try it out. When people post their own success and showcases their how productive they are, we feel like we are lacking somewhere. We also need to be there, right? When someone flaunts a luxury lifestyle, we feel like we need that too. It's like the world is constantly whispering in our ear. This is what success looks like. This is what happiness looks like. And this is what you should also need this to do, right? And without noticing, we start aligning our life to someone else's definition of success. Even if in real life that may not be the complete reality for them as well. Whatever they are showcasing, it's just for the reel and the Instagram purpose, for the social media. In reality, that may not be the case for them, right? And this is where priming enters the picture. I spoke about the priming at the start of our episode today. Priming is fascinating. It works like a magic pill. It simply means Your brain reacts to cues even if you're not consciously aware of them. Like someone has planted some cues around us for us to behave in a certain way. Right? It's crazy. It's like literally crazy. Let me just share some examples with you all. Have you all noticed why bar lights are dim? Because dim lighting flows down your sense of time. You stay longer, you relax more, and often end up ordering more. Why are mall lights bright? Because bright white lights make you feel alert and energized, which means you walk more, you explore more, and finally you end up shop more. Why do gyms have loud music? High energy music makes you move faster and feel stronger. So you push harder without realizing that someone else is pushing you to go that extra mile. And finally, why do elevators have mirrors? Because mirrors distract you. It reduces impatience and make waiting feel shorter. They also reduce anxiety in small places. Like some people have anxiety in like a small space, but that can be reduced with mirror. It's like crazy, like we don't even know how we have been governed by these cues. We think we make conscious decisions in our life, but often we are just responding to triggers around us. Now, in the modern world we live in, all the brands, political parties, celebrities, even social media algorithms to almost all the time. Everyone is using priming to subtly shape how we think, how we feel, and how we behave and act at the same time. And the scariest part is, priming works even when you know that priming exists. You still get influenced with the planted triggers. Let's understand the evil side of it. When it starts affecting us so much that we start living someone else's life, and this is where it gets dangerous. When you constantly see the same kind of content, your definition of a good life gets manipulated. It gets distorted. People start chasing someone else's career, lifestyles, and dreams that they didn't even want to pursue. I've seen in my life like students who choose career just because everyone else is going into finance. Post COVID, just because few made good money in the stock market crash, everyone started following and getting into the stock market. I have seen young adults buying, things which they can't even afford because that's what success looks like on Instagram. This is the tragedy of modern influence. You begin living, thinking, desiring, and even dreaming based on someone else's script, not your own script. So how do we break free from this cycle, from this entire herd behavior? How do you know whether a decision is truly yours or it's being primed on you? So there are three quick questions which you can ask yourself. Number one, if no one could see your life, would you still choose this? Just imagine, no one was watching your life. No opinions, no expectations. Would you still make the same choice? When you remove the need to perform for others, what is left behind is what you truly want and not what others are expecting from you. And that is what will bring clarity to you, right? Number two, does this energize you or exhaust you? Whatever you're doing in your life, pay close attention to how something makes you feel. Does it lift your energy or drain it? Your body often gives you the answer long before your mind understands it fully. And number three, am I choosing this out of desire or fear? Because desire pulls you in a certain direction, but fear, it pushes you. If something is pushing you, it's not your path. That's the clarity which you can get if you're not sure whether you are doing something which you really want to do it or someone else has planted it in your own life. Because our mind is like a garden. Whatever we consume, be it content on social media, conversations we have with people around us, and the environment in which we grow, all these factors play like a seed in the garden of mind. If you plant negativity, comparison, and fear, don't expect peace and clarity. You become what you repeatedly watch, hear, and you become what you repeatedly surround yourself with. This is why it is said, choose your company wisely. Because no matter what, you become like that company in due course of time. So now the question which comes to my mind is how to use influence for our own benefit. First, let's understand that influence is not the enemy. Only the unconscious influence which people are like planting in our life, that can be evil side of it. But apart from that, you can use it for your own benefit as well. There are like different contents which are available, so you can choose it wisely. If you use it consciously in your life, it becomes a superpower. Like there are few things which you can do. Follow people who inspire you and not drain you. Surround yourself with achievers and not the losers who themselves are not aware about what they want in their own life. So reach out to people whom you see that they have achieved something in their life and you can look up to them. Read content that elevates your thinking and not like bring down your thought process. Prime yourself with positive environments. You can choose your own environment and make it in a certain way that elevates your thought process and not drain you. And intentionally choose your input. When I mean to say input, it can be in different shape and form. Whomsoever you talk with, whatever content you are consuming on Instagram or on any other social media sites, and whatever you are interacting with people around you. So, use social proof wisely. If you follow the right herd, you rise. But if you follow the wrong one, you fall. It's as simple as that. So, before we end this episode, ask yourself, which part of my life is influenced by the herd and not by my heart? What is one thing I want to release because it's not truly mine? What is one thing I want to choose intentionally, starting today itself? Because remember, you're not meant to be a copy. You are meant to be a creator. A creator who not only builds their own dreams, but becomes the spark that inspires others to chase and follow theirs. So, if today's conversation nudged something inside you, take a moment, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, am I choosing my own path or just following the crowd? That one question can change everything. Thank you so much for tuning to Mindset Matters. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might be unconsciously following the crowd. Maybe they just need a reminder that the real reward comes from choosing their own path and not following someone else's path. Share it on Instagram stories and WhatsApp status because it might help someone who need to follow their own path. And as always, keep listening and keep working on yourself because your mindset truly matters. Thank you.